Stilicho, Last of the Romans. This is Robert Dulesky's follow-up towards Marcus Aurelius. If you played his previous game, you're going to find some of the basic concepts here to be familiar. So you have 3 enemy armies which are advancing into your territory. You're trying to beat them back through card play without a whole lot of resources at your disposal. The enemies this time around, though, are tougher than in the previous game. They have higher combat factors. When they are reduced, their reduced factor is not as severe as it was previously. And the enemies also get stronger later in the game, because apparently we needed these guys to be tougher to beat back. Now, as they advance, activated by card draws, they're going to get towards the end of their track. When at the end of the track, bad things are going to happen. So the Vandals here, at the end of their track, every time they activate from now on, we're going to have unrest rising in the Empire in different provinces. And that unrest is eventually going to flip over to revolt. And if all the provinces are in revolt, you've lost control of the situation, you lose the game, and you probably get murdered in some kind of, very unpleasant way. Now, you can remove those markers, but to attempt to do so, you need to spend an action. You need to spend one of your cards. And that's cards you could be using to do other things that you want to do rather than picking at these Revolt and Unrest markers. Now we have the Goths. If the Goths get to Rome, then every time they activate, it's going to activate this guy Olympius over here. Olympius doesn't like you very much. He would very much like you to be imprisoned and executed. You really don't want to oblige him on that, so you're going to have to spend cards and actions to argue him down, to argue for your position and for your influence within the court. If you fail to do so, though, then if you get to the top of his track, you're going to be arrested and executed, and then you win the game. I'm kidding, you lose. Obviously you lose if you get your head cut off. Don't do that. Fun fact, the historical Stilicho was executed due to a plot by Olympius on turn 3. This game has 10 turns. You need to do much better than the historical result if you want to win. Finally, we have Constantine III, who would very much like to be emperor. He doesn't like Honorius being emperor. He wants to be emperor. And if he gets all the way to Ravenna, knocks out any garrison you have there and moves in there, he's going to overthrow Honorius. You get overthrown with him. Probably you get killed. Basically, you want to avoid being killed in this game. That's how you lose. That's really good advice for life in general. Don't be killed. So that is kind of an overview of the situation. You have a lot more balls in the air you gotta keep juggling. Tougher enemies, fewer resources. And I haven't gotten into how the surge mechanic is different this time around, which really makes the game a lot harder. And it's one of my favorite parts of the game. I'm gonna talk about that in another video. Take care.